What's up, everyone? Welcome to Lowered Expectations. Thanks for lowering your expectations and hanging out with me here. I do appreciate it. In today's video, I am going to be doing a review on this Teslong two-way articulating inspection camera. Megan's Mazdaspeed 3 has developed a little bit of a hiccup. I suspect it is just spark plugs, but while we have the spark plugs out, I'm going to use this inspection camera to take a look down inside of the cylinders, partly out of curiosity and partly just to see if everything's okay. The Amazon retailer reached out to me and asked me if I was interested in testing their product, and I said I would be delighted to, as long as I was able to say whatever I wanted to about the product and as long as I could be 100% honest with my viewers. They agreed to those terms, and so here is the inspection camera. I am getting paid to make this video, but as you guys know, I am a straight shooter and I have no problem saying negative things if that is the truth. I am going to very quickly unbox this tool, briefly go over some of its features, and then jump right into using it. If you want to see a benchtop review of somebody drooling over this tool, talking about all of its specifications, that won't be found on this channel. We're going to find out how this actually works in everyday life. The Teslong two-way articulating inspection camera comes with this very nice fitted case. It has a carry handle on top, two zippers that make it very quick to open and make it so that the lid opens up all the way. Once we have it opened, it has this cargo netted area that has the owner's manual, I assume, as well as some safety instructions. Oh, and some cleaning wipes. That is very thoughtful. I wouldn't have thought of that. So all you filthy mechanics can clean off the screen and the camera once you're done using it. I see that it has a USB-C charging cable. You guys will be happy about this. It sits in this little compartment, but it jiggles around in there, so I'm actually going to put it in the cargo netted area. I think that makes more sense. And now we're going to take a look at the camera itself, which is in this fitted case. It sits in there very nicely. The camera lens has a protective cover on it. We're going to pop that off. This camera does come with a 32 gigabyte memory card, and we are going to power it on. As you guys will see, once it's powered on, it comes with a fully charged battery, or at least mine did. And I can tell you guys, I have used this unit now for 2 separate projects, and that battery has not moved at all. So I'm going to say that this very likely has a very, very long battery life. It has a temperature reading. I have switched it to Celsius, but you can switch it to Fahrenheit in the menu. It also records sound, which you will see later in this video. We have a mode button here that allows you to switch between photo and video. We have an OK button that is basically your enter button. Settings, which I'm not going to get into, they are extremely intuitive. You will not need the owner's manual unless you want to do something, I don't know, something silly. We have a light setting. You can change the strength of the light or turn it off. And then lastly, a magnifying button where you can basically zoom in. There are 3 different settings. The one thing that I will get into a little bit more in this later on in this video is the recording button, or the start-stop recording button, which is right there, as you guys can hear. And while this is kind of in a convenient place, as I will discuss later in the video, might not be the best location. The size of the camera on the end of the 5-foot articulating cable is 8.5 millimeters, which is approximately 5/16 of an inch. If you guys are interested in purchasing one of these, there will be a link in the description below. By the way, that noise that you will be hearing in the background, that is my Viver diesel heater that I've modified to run on waste motor oil. It has a secondary chamber that I'm injecting air and waste motor oil into. This is the container for that waste motor oil. I also am drip feeding a small amount of clean diesel into the primary chamber, or the original chamber. If you guys are interested in videos on that, I will leave a playlist here. You can feel free to go check that out at your leisure. There is a bunch of nasty carbony stuff on this one. I don't know if the plug is loose or what. We're gonna find out, but these three look relatively clean. That is a lot of soot. That appears as though the spark plug is leaking. I'm gonna say, based on that quick inspection, that carbon is coming out from around the spark plug, which kind of indicates that the spark plug is loose. Interesting. In comparison, you can see this one is extremely clean. What is going on here, folks? I can see the other spark plug. What the heck? What kind of a setup is this? As you guys can see from a quick inspection, 3 of those spark plugs look pretty normal on the outside. I have to say I am extremely impressed with the image quality. I'm not sure how it will turn up on this video or in this video, but as far as on the screen, this is pretty fantastic. This is the spark plug that was nasty. Let's see, can I take it out with my fingers? Yes, it is finger tight. Ah, man. Ooh. It is in bad need of spark plugs though. I don't think my camera will capture how nasty this really is, but that is a massive gap. Wow. I was able to get a little bit of WD-40 right down onto the spark plugs and look at them so that I could see how much was actually going in. I will have to check to see what the spec is on the spark plug gap, but I guarantee it's not 80 thousandths. Especially on a turbocharged engine, they're usually a little bit less, if anything. Yeah, I would say it's not 80 thou, but that is, well, it might be 80 thou. No, that's probably 60 thou, something like that. Yeah, they're like 60 thou gap, something like that. We came all this way, it would be downright rude and silly not to look inside the cylinders, right? Besides, I want to see if we can actually go 180 and look back up at the valves and kind of check everything out. I think that will be pretty interesting. Before we get in there, I just want to say that this came with a battery that was fully charged. I've already used it on 2 different projects, well, this being the second project. First one being looking at my buddy's leaf blower. We looked inside the engine. You can see those clips here. And the battery has not moved at all. It also has a microphone on there, so I'm curious if it's recording what I say. I find it weird that an inspection camera would in fact have a microphone. And it also has a temperature sensor. It's telling me it's 95 Fahrenheit, 96 Fahrenheit. It also has a microphone on there, so I'm curious if it's recording what I say. I find it weird that an inspection camera would in fact have a microphone. Anyway, let's get in that cylinder and have a look. Okay, that is kind of what you'd expect. There's a bit of carbon on there. What's that white stuff? All you car expert people. Alright, we are down in there. Let's have a look at the cylinder walls. That is good news there, folks. That is a beautiful crosshatch. Now, the top of that piston looks really weird to me. Again, I'm not a Mazda guy. We are now looking back up. Let's go down right against the piston. Oh, there we go, folks. We've got it figured out now. So that is actually the cord coming in, and we're looking at the back of the engine. So let's see, the white valves are the exhaust valves. Also, you can see there's no massive ring ridge at the top of the cylinder. Any of you engine guys will know what that is. Basically, where the cylinder head, where that black line meets the shiny part. On an old engine or an engine that's showing signs of wear, you will actually see a groove where the rings stop. And this one you can see a mark, but it doesn't look like it has any depth to it. So that is good news. Now what I want to do is, first of all, we're going to swing to the back again and have another look there. What is that? That is on the injector side. I didn't think these things were direct injection. I am going to compare that cylinder to the cylinder on the opposite side, just to see if the one with a loose spark plug looks any different than a one with a tight spark plug. There's our cord coming in. You can probably see me if we focus enough. Let's see. Hey, there I am, waving. Okay, now what we're going to do is swing the camera around the other way and see if we can see that same injector, see if it looks the same. There we go. There it is. And there are the intake valves. Ooh. Ooh, that reminds me. Did I stop recording again? I think I keep accidentally hitting the button. I don't think it's in a great location. That is pretty annoying. Not a big deal probably if you're not trying to make videos, but pretty annoying when you're trying to make videos. Okay, let's look at the inlet valves now, see if we can see right up in there. That'd be pretty cool. Okay, we can see in there. I see some oil. I'm not sure if that's normal for a turbocharged engine or not. All you Mazda gurus and automotive techs out there, let me know if that is a normal thing. I can see some buildup on the valve stem there, where it doesn't interfere with the valve guide. Let's see, can I get down here and look on the other side? Trying to get yourself oriented with one of these is pretty tricky. I know that can be a hard enough thing here in 2024. Automotive techs struggling with their orientation. This is quite tricky. There is our injector. I'm assuming that's what that is. To me, that looks like an awful lot of oily sludge built up on those intake valves. I'm not sure if it's anything to be concerned about. I'm not an automotive mechanic, so you guys let me know what you think about it. Either way, we are not going to be diving into that and dealing with that in any way. We are going to check the gap on these spark plugs. We're going to put them back in, and then I will recommend that Megan purchase a new set. We can put them in when she gets them. I said these plugs were going to be about 60 thou. Let's see how far off I was. I was 5 thou off. We are at 55. Oh, 57. You can see it's wore at an angle, eroded at an angle. So if you push it all the way in, it's 55 thou. But if you actually check at the tip, it is like 60, 61 thou. So I was pretty dang close just by looking, just by eyeballing it. Oh man, that is amusing. I just checked the spark plug gap online and it is between 26 and 28 thousandths. We are between 55 and 60 thousandths, so definitely way off. Again, that is almost all due to erosion, so I'm going to somewhat gap these. I'm not going to go all the way back to this because we might have the spark jumping in a place where it really shouldn't jump. It is currently 12:43 a.m., almost 1 in the morning. Megan needs her car to get to work tomorrow, and so I need to get this back together. I'm going to finish doing that off camera, and then I will come back and give you guys my final thoughts on this inspection camera. My final thoughts on the Teslong two-way articulating inspection camera. I think this is a top quality tool and is absolutely worth the money. There are cheaper options out there, and if you need to save some money, then maybe that is a better route for you. But this is a quality product that comes with a quality carrying case. If you're going to be traveling around at all, this is a nice case that is going to protect the tool. It's also a good way to store it. And I have to say that the articulating camera on the end is very nice. The image quality is very nice. As you guys have already heard, the battery life on this thing is fantastic. I've been using it on and off now for about 2 weeks, and I haven't had to charge it a single time. The battery is still showing full. So once again, if you're interested in one of these, there will be a link in the description below. And yeah, it gets my stamp of approval. And for the few of you who are actually wondering about the Mazdaspeed 3, well, Megan has driven it for a few days now, and the misfire is gone. It turns out that a 60 thou plug gap on a turbocharged car is not ideal. That's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.